That's something you did?
I've lost the microphone. Don't say anything.
And I can't answer the adjourned questions. Y'all can answer what I'm just going to do. I will say.
All right, well, we'll ask you about this stuff. Everybody ready? What, so that was a,
He will not let me answer the adjourned. I mean, the court's not going to let me answer the adjourned question.
Was it about the witness?
No.
all right, let me ask you this. That was a pretty strong witness that the prosecution put on. It's probably the witness that they're gonna hang their hat on for this case. So, so what do you make of the testimony that he made today and have the impact on you and your client?
Well, I mean, he's being paid $400 an hour to come testify. I'll let the jury take that into consideration when they weigh his testimony.
Talk about, I mean, he got down on the floor, he showed the position he believed Angel Downs was sitting in. You know, obviously, then you got on the floor and talked about that position as well, talking about blood should have been perhaps on the concrete. Explain that.
My humble opinion, it'll be physically impossible for what he described to happen from the physical scene. But we'll let the jury decide that. They're the one that makes that decision.
Why so, though? Why physically impossible?
I just think the dynamics of it and the physical evidence that's at the scene is inconsistent totally with his suggestions.
Was there any inclination that he'd have to leave early, or do you think that he was really, you were getting the best of him in there?
Oh, I think he was definitely holding his own.
Dennis, without talking about the ruling in there, do you agree that you had to stop your cross-examination in the middle of it? I mean, and that he's not coming back until later on in the trial?
Some things rose in the court that had nothing to do with the witness, and yes, I did not want to have to stop the cross-examination at that point in time, but sometimes in a trial you can't control things. This gentleman's from out of town, and we just have to make accommodations in cases like this. I'm sure if the tables were turned, the state would be as accommodating to me.
Did you throw a fit?
No, ma'am.
What is the importance as a defensive attorney, you know, when you started doing your cross, you know, you get on the ground and you demonstrate and make a show of it, so to speak. Is that significant? I mean, as far as like a strategy, why do you do something like that?
I only do that to demonstrate to the jury what I felt was the inconsistency with what he contended happened and how there was no evidence to support that. No show, no anything else, simply to demonstrate to the jury it just can't happen this way.
Is this going to affect you calling Lauritsen? Is that how you say his name? Because wasn't he supposed to counter everything this time?
It does make for a logistical problem. All the parties, I think, are trying to be cooperative, and we'll work through that and work it out some way.
Are you going to be able to call him?
Yes.
Well, you talk about how the evidence at the scene doesn't support what Dr. Downs is saying in there. How then, or why then, would he come up with his theory? Is Dr. Downs lying? Is he making this up?
I would never accuse him of lying. However, I think he just has a conception of what happened that is totally inconsistent and illogical and can't be explained by the facts.
Who's up next? I mean, like Monday, what's going to happen?
I do not know. I wish I did. I mean,
Would you
we
still-
have no idea. It could be some more police officers. I really don't know that.
Would you spell Dr. Lauritsen's name for us, please?
Lauridse.
Okay, thank you. And
So that guy
how
won't be back Monday, right?
They didn't say.
hard do you think it'll be to continue cross-examination after a layover between the sections of it?
We can get started back up.
Can you tell us the reason that was out of the court's control, why we're leaving him?
I mean, I'm not trying to be
Did I
evasive.
understand you correctly that it was the state's request? And you said
No,
the
no,
state
it's
would
not
be just
state.
as accommodating to you, so that
Well,
means
I
the
mean, it's my examination that is, the reason for the delay has nothing to do with the witness, but it certainly interrupts the flow of things, and now if their witness can't be available to resume Monday morning, that's the accommodation aspect, okay, is that I said, no, you can call him out of order at a later time. It might even reach into my case, which would be a terrible inconvenience for me, but it's sometimes what you have to do for witnesses that are out of town.
I noticed also when you were
Defensive wounds on your hand?
when you were speaking with the doctor that there were several times that he was answering and your gaze was up around the top of the room. Was there anything you were looking for? I mean, what? You weren't really looking at the jury or the doctor, so I was wondering.
I felt his answer or his continued speaking went well beyond whatever the question may have been, and I don't think there's any way to make him answer a question, so I just disregard the extra comment of his meanings.
I didn't know if that's where inspiration lied or not.